the most expensive thing you can do for your salon business is lose a client you already had. The challenge is not the market. The challenge is that most hairstylists are marketing like it's 2019. Stylists who are building stability right now are the ones actively working to retain the clients they have, not just chasing the ones they don't. We are living in a time right now where trust is in a major recession. The way you respond and handle somebody through a negative review is so important. You're not for everyone and everyone's not for you. Viral content and getting content are two totally different things. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, I would love to hear from you. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to share an important lesson that became clear to me running my own business. Growth isn't just about skill, it's about having the right system. I know exactly how hard it is to juggle clients, staff, and strategy all at once, which is why I love Gloss Genius. It's the all-in-one platform every salon owner needs to scale. It doesn't just help you manage your day-to-day like other options. Gloss Genius actually does the work for you that you need to grow. Whether it's rebooking that brings clients back or automating marketing campaigns that fill empty chairs, this platform never stops looking out for you. An added bonus is that it actually is easy to use. So no where do I click moments for you and your team. Clients don't have complicated logins just to book an appointment. It's smooth, it's a smart design, and it works. If you've been looking for a way to do all of that, go to the link in my show notes and use the code Successful to get 50% off your first 2 months of their Gold or Platinum plan to see for yourself. Gloss Genius is all about growth and less busy work. All right, let's get into the episode. If your books aren't as consistent as you need them to be right now, and I mean truly consistent, not just some busy weeks and others that are dead, this episode is going to give you the 4 marketing moves that are actually working for salon businesses in today's economy. We're going to skip theory on this one, not just what worked 5 years ago, what is actually working right now, why it's working, and exactly what you can do in the next 30 days to start seeing results. If you're new here, I'm Ambrosia Carey. I am your host, and welcome to the Successful Stylist Academy Podcast. We're going to jump straight into it. So the U.S. hair salon market is a $60 billion industry right now. There's no shortage opportunity here. The challenge is not the market. The challenge is that most hairstylists are marketing like it's 2019. So what worked then, like posting transformations, running promotions, and hoping word of mouth would carry you, still has a role to play, but it's no longer enough on its own. Today, we're talking about the 4 moves with the highest return on time and energy right now. Some of you have already heard of these, but I promise you that the way we're going to talk about them today with the data behind them is going to change how you actually apply them. These moves work whether or not you're an independent stylist, a suite renter, a commission stylist, or a salon owner with a team. So we're just removing location from the equation here. And I really want these to be the most universal tips possible because I think one of the biggest things that we can do is create excuses. I've been one of them in the past before, and I continue to make excuses because, hey, I'm human. But a lot of us can tend to lean on things like, oh, where I'm located, or I'm in a small town, or, insert whatever it might be. I'm new. I've been in the industry for a long time and, it's hard to find new clients. So whatever the excuse is, just let's remove those for just a moment. And I really want you to think objectively about the tips I'm about to reveal to you. And the good news is I've got some stats to help us out. I'm going to start with one that's been the number one since the first scissors ever touched a head of hair, and that is referral and word of mouth. I'm sure this comes as no surprise to you, perhaps, and I'm going to show you why it's not just timeless. It's actually more powerful right now than it's been in years. And the reason why is probably the reason why we're feeling the same way we feel about everything else when we're going online or when we're scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, that there are a lot of self-made or self-proclaimed experts, I should say, not self-made, but we are living in a time right now where trust is in a major recession. People are more skeptical of advertising, more skeptical of social media, and more overwhelmed by choices than at any point in history. When everything is competing for attention and nobody trusts anything, a personal recommendation from someone who knows that cuts through all of the insanity is actually something that's a huge relief for the stylist, but also a huge relief for the person who's looking for said stylist, right? So why referral marketing is not just a survival thing, it is absolutely thriving, is because when people can vet out the right type of referrals for you or other people, then it just creates like a stronger ecosystem. What I love so much about referrals, obviously, aside from the fact that you get somebody who you kind of know and you share like-minded trust with one another, is also that you build a ongoing relationship with the person who referred. And then when you actually have somebody come sit in your chair, they feel like they already know you. As a matter of fact, you feel like you already know them because you have a common interest. You have a common client slash friend in mind. And if you know that person, it makes it so much easier for you to fill in the gaps and just kind of know that person as well, the new stylist or new client that's coming to see you. I'm totally rambling right now, but getting back on track here. More than 9 in 10 consumers trust referrals from friends and family over anything else. So while only 36% trust online video advertisements, this is coming from Demand Sage. Think about that gap, right? Like that is kind of crazy. 9 out of 10 people trust a friend's recommendation. Less than 4 in 10 trust an ad. That's a difference between someone scrolling past your content and someone calling to book, or I guess these days probably texting to book because their friend said that you were incredible. And that's a huge compliment, right? So that's the reason why referrals are such an important thing. And when I say that, incentivizing our clients to actually send those referrals is going to be major as well. Here's another stat that's kind of crazy. Clients referred by a friend are 18% more likely to stay with the business long term. They don't just show up once, they stay, they repeat. Going back to what I was kind of saying before, you have common interests. You have a friend that you already see of theirs. Your name comes up at dinner. And the longer you do service those clients, the more long-term that relationship, that success rate even goes up more. Another stat for you, since, we're spitting out the stats right now, and I do love stats to actually support the evidence that we're actually saying, but also just to prove that we don't have to rethink the wheel. We just have to make sure that we're really focused on what we allow inside that wheel so that way we can get some momentum behind our business. Referred clients have a 37% higher retention rate than clients who find you through other channels. So it just goes to show once again that when people are referred to you, people attract likes, attract likes. And that is something that makes it so much easier for us to even get to know the person to begin with, to talk about the services that we offer, to feel like we can get on the same page with that person and not feel like we have to sell ourselves or try hard. And they do one more thing that's incredibly valuable. They are 4 times more likely to refer others, which means one referred client can set off a chain reaction and fill your chair for months on end. So 42% of Salon's most loyal clients drive 80% of its sales. Like that's kind of crazy. Like 42% of your loyalists, we'll call them, are responsible for 80% of your revenue. And referrals are how we get more of those people. So this is an example because I know that even though I've been doing hair for 27 years, you might think to yourself, well, yeah, it might be easy for you. But no, I want to actually show you the proof that it literally works for anybody right now. There's a stylist I'm mentoring who is a brand new stylist, a baby stylist. She just graduated from beauty school 6 months ago, and she's putting this to paper. And this is kind of crazy because the stats are filling her books. All she's doing is taking exceptional care of the clients that are already sitting in her chair. She's asking for those referrals time and time again, and it is reaping its benefits right now. So I asked her, are you getting serviced by anybody right now? Like, do you go to any service providers? And she said, well, I get my nails done. And I said, okay, amazing. Do you go to the same person? She says, yes. And I said, well, what made you want to go to that person? She's like, well, they're really good at what they do. And she said, and also she's super creative. She comes with ideas that I don't have to come up with myself. She's like, I always have like stuff I get from Pinterest, but a lot of times when I sit in the chair, I just really like what she's offering. The other thing that she was saying is her lash gal that she's gone to several times, she really likes her. And she says, I feel like we could be friends. That's the main thing. When a client sits in your chair and they say in their head, maybe they probably wouldn't say out loud, but they say in their head, I could be friends with this person. That is when you've won the trophy, because that is absolutely starts that chain reaction that I was just talking about. So she started to hand out her business cards to her lash gal and to the nail person. And she just asked him in a very kind way. And she also brought a little bit of humility to it. She just said, I'm building my books right now and I'm not as busy as I'd like to be. You probably remember what that was like for your business too. And it would mean the world to me if you refer anybody. And if anybody comes to see you that is anywhere, anything like you, then I would love to have them in my chair. Like, what a compliment, right? And what's amazing about it is that instantly, it was instant. She started getting both DMs and consultation requests, and the referral, like it gave the option. The referral actually showed that that person was on there. So she was really excited about that. So this is a perfect illustration of what I call cross-service referrals. And it works because the client who visits these providers are already invested in their appearance. They're already spending money on self-care, and they're already looking for trusted service providers in the same world. They are your ideal client and they don't know you yet, but that's the beauty of it. Sometimes we just have to have enough humility, and we need to not be afraid to talk about it. I cannot tell you, there was a time, and this is not has nothing to do with a referral, but this brings up for me this a time that I was actually standing in line, and bear with me if you've heard the story already. But I was standing in line at Zara, and there was a gal that was in front of me who was checking out, and I was looking at the back of her head, and I mean, hairstylist to hairstylist, we all have been there before, and we will continue to be there for the rest of our life. But she had like these shelved off like chunky highlights that just were not blended in. She had gorgeous hair, and I decided to approach her, and I just said to her, "You have beautiful hair." Now, I wasn't telling her a lie. I said nothing about her color. She did have beautiful hair. So I told her, "You have beautiful hair." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." And I just said, "I have a salon and I teach classes all the time on color correction." I said, "I swear I'm not crazy. I'm not making this up. If you want to look me up on Instagram, here's my handle. I would love to have you come in sometime as a model. I do color correction classes and I do highlighting techniques. And a lot of people that I see have darker color like you do naturally." And then I asked her, "Is that something you would be open to?" And she was just like, "Well, yeah, I mean, I would love to come in as a hair model." And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Well, DM me, please. Give me your information, and then I will set you up with a time that we have classes, and we'll try to figure something out with your schedule because I would absolutely love to have you come in, and I think you're the perfect candidate for it." So that was my way of letting her know that, yes, I can fix your color, and also not offending her or the person that did her hair. It's just that I saw the potential in what I could do to help her out. Now, could it have gone the opposite way and she wasn't interested? Yes, of course. But, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So at least in this case, it ended up being a really big win. And what's really cool about it, even though, yes, she came in as a model and she continued to be my hair model for a very long time. But what was really cool about it is that she was always so happy with her hair that number one, she was my walking advertisement. And number two, she ended up referring other stylists to my salon. So that is the big win right there, is that sometimes those small things where you take care of people have a huge marginal gain for your business in the long run. So I have a framework to kind of help you with this, especially if this is something kind of new or foreign to you. And if it's something that you just have fallen out of practice, then maybe this will be a great reminder. But this is a referral strategy that you can use to kind of layer in different scenarios. So layer one would be to activate your existing clients. Your best clients are your walking billboards who haven't been asked to help you. So most stylists assume that if a client is happy, they'll refer people naturally, which is not always the case. As a matter of fact, in the past, when some more advanced stylists I've worked with have said something to their clients, most clients said back to them, "Oh, I didn't even know you were taking new clients." So again, assumptions can happen on our end, but they can also happen on the other end with our clients. And to start out that real conversation, you can say something very gentle like, "I really love working with you and I'd love to work with more clients like you. If you ever know someone who's looking for a stylist, I'd be so grateful if you thought of me." And that's it. A simple ask, simple human to human interaction. And guess what? It does work. So give it a shot and let me know how it works. All right. The second layer here is about, your cross services, like what I was talking about before with my story. This is where you can identify your service providers in the area So, like I was saying before, with the stylist that I was mentoring, when she asked her nail and lash lady, this is where you can identify the service providers in your area that serve your ideal clients. And that's again where your nail tech and lashes, esthetician, maybe a massage therapist, a brow specialist, these are not your competitors. They are your community. And when you send your clients to them, they send their clients to you, and everyone wins. So leave a card, build that relationship, check in on them, and just make a mutual interaction. Another example is we have a coffee shop right next to us, and I told one of the stylists in my space, go walk over there, let them know that you are opening up another day behind the chair, and ask them, can I leave one of my cards on your billboard, like that, or bulletin board? They have like a bulletin board, like a lot of those coffee shops do. And they said, yeah, of course, absolutely. And they're like, thanks for letting us know. So again, like a simple ask, it just puts it front of mind. And, people who like us want to help us, just like we want to help people when they ask for our help too. So, symbiotic relationship. And then the third layer, of course, is making referrals easy and memorable. So, a referred client needs to be able to find you. They need to be able to book with you easily and remember your name. So, a physical card does still work, especially in a service environment where people are relaxed and they're super receptive to it. But combining those with your digital assets. So a QR code, for instance, like one of the stylists at my salon, she's got a QR code on the back of her card that goes directly to your booking link, and it removes any barrier between my friend recommended you type of vibe and that appointment being confirmed. So, with all that information over the next 30 days, I want you to try this action plan. This week, not next month, this week, I want you to identify 5 of your most loyal clients and have a genuine referral conversation with each of them. Then I want you to introduce yourself to a cross service provider in your area and start building that relationship. Again, the people I was laying out, like the lash lady, the nail lady, like maybe you go to a gym on a regular basis and you've kind of gotten to know some of the people that work there, or you have a instructor. Wherever you go on a regular basis, wherever you've already built relationships, where you go the most, leave your card with those people or send your QR code to them, or let them know at least that you are taking new clients. The second highest return on investment with your time when it comes to marketing your business that's still tried and true is Google reviews. So here's a marketing channel that most stylists completely ignore, that costs absolutely nothing, and it's quietly determining whether a potential client books with you or keeps scrolling to the next name on the list. The reason why this is working right now is that when someone who doesn't know you wants to find a stylist, they do one or two things. They ask a friend, which was point one, or they Google it. And what they find when they Google you is more important than your Instagram, more importantly than your website, and more important than any ad you can ever run. Your Google reviews are the first impression that every new client who finds you through search. And right now in this economy, that first impression is carrying more weight than ever. Does it help that you have social media channels? Absolutely, especially these days with Instagram and TikTok both having search engine optimization inside the platforms itself. So at least when you do post on Instagram, let's say, that post will show up on Google. But please don't forget about other things like indexes. You can absolutely have local bloggers write about you. You can have local digital magazines that runs an article about you, especially if you have a photo shoot or a video shoot that you've done before in the past. You can have your own blog on your website, get reviews on your website, Google My Business. Like anything that you can do to get your ratings up on Google is going to be really helpful. As a matter of fact, uploading pictures onto your website, that's also immensely helpful as well. The stats are going to help you with just really pushing this forward. 78% of clients check reviews before booking at a salon, and nearly 1 in 2 will only consider salons with a rating of 4.5 stars or higher. That means if you're below a 4.5 star rating, half of the people searching for you are already eliminating you before they have even seen your work, which is kind of frightening, right? Again, the clients that are already sitting in your chair, if they love their hair, you don't need to just hear it. Everyone needs to hear it. So that's when you can ask them, like, can you please write a Google review and just share exactly what you share with me? It would absolutely mean the world to me. It would help my business and it'll help more of the right people find me. Speaking of the more right people finding us, if you like this episode so far, please share it with a friend. We definitely are on a mission right now to just help support as many salons and entrepreneurs like you. And we want to have you have a thriving business. That's the whole reason why we do this to begin with. So we do a lot of deep diving with these stats. And of course, we are here to support everyone that is in this community, our tight-knit community of hairstylists and salon owners. And if you want to go a step further, we would love to have you inside of our membership that's called the Lab. The Lab actually is built for hairstylists who are needing help with wording, needing help with, support, needing help with understanding how they can build a better marketing channel or funnel or system for their own business. A lot of stylists are getting to a point where they're wanting to work with an assistant. They don't know how to go about that. Some stylists who are more advanced are looking to open up a salon. We owners that are looking to expand. So every single step within your career is a level up. And with each level up, sometimes it can feel very, very lonely. And ChatGPT or Claude or whatever your AI friend is can only get you so far. And so that's where we kind of step in and help you out, putting real, tangible results into the mix. So that was my little gentle plug for you. Going back into the review section, and this is the reason why I'm drawing so much emphasis on this, is because 73% of consumers only trust reviews written within the last month. So that means that if you have reviews that are really old, get those refreshed. Send out an email blast or a text blast, or even just send it to some of your top tier clients that you really love and adore, and just ask if they wouldn't mind giving you a review. So those can always be really helpful in driving more traffic to your business and then updating your Google reviews as well. This is the one that most stylists do miss. It's not enough to have 50 good reviews from 2 years ago. Recency does matter, and a steady stream of fresh recent reviews tell Google and potential clients that your business is still active, current, and it's worth choosing. And then my last stat that I'm just going to kind of wrap this up with is 97% of salon regulars say personalization during visits is important, and a Google review is how new clients find out whether you deliver that before they even sit in your chair. So that's pretty cool, right? Like, even if a client refers the salon, they may still look up the salon and decide whether or not they still want to go to you. So that's just like another touch point or a point of contact before they ever sit in your actual chair. So most stylists don't have a review problem. They have an asking problem. And then happy clients don't leave reviews because nobody told them that it would make a difference. So here is a system that will actually help you out, that you want to ask in the right moment, right? So the highest conversion moments for a review request is right after a client looks in the mirror and says something positive. Kind of like what I was saying before, when somebody's like, I love my color. Thank you so much. I feel so much better. Like, my ends feel amazing. I love my cut. Like, oh my gosh, this is better than what I envisioned. Not at checkout, not at following up through a text like 3 days later. In the moment when they're just glowing and super grateful, that's when you say, I'm so glad you love it. If you ever wanted to leave me a Google review, it's genuinely will help the more people find me. And then I can text you the link right now. So that's something you could do, or you can have a QR code at your station or somewhere around the front desk. All right. And then make it one tap, like create a short link or QR code that goes directly into your Google review page. That way you don't have to have anybody navigate or search you or anything. The one tap just makes it so much easier for the client. We want to make it easy for people because they're doing us a huge, huge favor. The easier you make it, the higher your conversion rate will be. And then the next step after that is to respond to every single review. It's very similar to Instagram or TikTok. Anytime that you respond to a Google review, that counts as another mark or whatever, another positive review within the algorithm, because everything has an algorithm these days. Over 80% of salon clients say how a business responds to review matters to them. So when you respond to a 5-star review with something genuine and personal, the next person reading that review sees not just like what the clients are happy with, but that you care. When you respond with a negative review with grace and professionalism, you often turn a liability into a trust signal. So new clients are watching how you handle both, and I think equally is important. It's also important too that like not all spaces are going to have all positive reviews, right? And the longer a business is around, the higher the chances are that there's going to be some negative reviews. It's simply going to happen. You're not for everyone and everyone's not for you. The way you respond and handle somebody through a negative review is so important. I would argue that it's more important than the way you respond to a positive review because it does show your ability and how much you care about your business, how much you care about people, and the way that you respond says a lot about you. So it tells people who you are before they ever get to meet you. So, if we were to apply this to a 30-day action plan, which is kind of what I'm here for, I want you to ask every single client you see in the next 30 days for a Google review, every single one. Create your QR code or a short link this week. It takes literally 10 minutes. If you do this consistently for 30 days, your review profile will look completely different on the other side. And that difference will show up in your bookings. The third thing that I think is really important, and sometimes this doesn't get enough love because it is part of your marketing strategy. And unfortunately, when people think of marketing, they always think of like getting new clients, but we really want to focus on the existing clients that we have. So the third most important thing that I really want you to make sure that you're paying close attention to, especially right now, is your client retention and pre-booking. This is money hiding in your existing chair already. And I'm going to say something that might reframe your entire marketing strategy. The most expensive thing you can do for your salon business is lose a client you already had. That really stings. The reason why this is working right now is that every stylist I talk to is focused on getting new clients. New clients, new clients, new clients. And yes, new clients do matter. We need them. But here's what the data tells us that most stylists are not paying attention to. The clients already sitting in your chair are worth dramatically more than you're treating them like. Retention is not a passive outcome of doing good work. It's an active strategy. And right now, with the cost of acquiring new clients higher than ever, retention is the highest ROI move in your business. And it truly is. So if you could focus on one thing above all of the things that I've actually said today, I know I've drawn lots of emphasis to this and I've talked so much about retention, but I think it's such an important thing right now. It's more important and valuable than ever. And especially in a world and in an economy right now where we have a lot of things that are shaking people out of their tree, we want to make sure that clients are not just well informed, but they also feel really good about seeing you. This is the time where you really want to tighten the screws up and you want to make sure that you are treating people that are already seeing you with the highest regard because this is what is going to help us ride through this hard wave that we're going through. And we never know how hard these waves are going to be. But because we are sitting in this recession time and because of the volatility that's happening around us, the best thing we can do is take really exceptional care of the clients that are already sitting in our chair. Salons typically spend 5 times more attracting a new client than retaining an existing one. And I'm sure that that's not absolutely new news to you, but that's 5 times the energy. That's 5 times the marketing, 5 times the effort for a client who hasn't decided yet whether they trust you. And loyal clients spend approximately 67% more than the first time visitors. So your existing clients are not just reliable, they're more profitable per visit. And that's also because they start to trust you more. And with trust becomes a deeper relationship, a deeper connection, and the ability for somebody to actually want to take risks on you. 42% of loyal clients drive 80% of salon clients. So there you go. Those stats, they're not going to lie with us. You don't need full books of new clients. You just need to keep the right clients coming back to you. And clients whose first visit was booked online are approximately 2 times more likely to return than those walk-ins, which I don't really know if walk-ins really happen so much anymore. I think some businesses do that are in a high traffic area, but it's harder to get those walk-ins back in, right? So we really want to make sure that whoever it is coming back to us. If they come in for a second time, don't take that for granted. That's actually a really big step. And I've said this many times, and that's the reason why, I use Gloss Genius. Gloss Genius, yes, they are a sponsor right now, but we have a really great relationship. I use Gloss Genius. I use a lot of things inside of it. I talk about it all the time because it's helped me immensely with my business. It's taken a lot of work out. I run my payroll through it. It automatically texts things for me. It's really easy for me to set up, marketing to my clients through it. And I love the SMS features. I also love that it can take notes for me for every single one of my clients, so I just don't miss things as easy as much. And I love the waitlist option. So I know there are waitlist options inside of other booking services, but I really like the way Gloss Genius has it set up. So, and I've been with other booking services before, but this one just has been working really well for me. So the reason why this is such an important step for you to decide on when you go with a certain booking service is that it directly affects whether or not that first time client becomes a loyal client. So we just want to make sure that it's super frictionless. When it's frictionless, it makes it easy for a client to rebook. It makes a client easier for them to cancel something. If they need to get on the wait list, it's just a lot easier that way. So we just want to make sure we're using a booking system that does take care of our clients. And it's not for us specifically. And yes, it does help us, but we also want it to be like that white glove service for our clients too. The stylists who are building stability right now are the ones actively working to retain the clients they have, not just chasing the ones they don't. I want to talk about the pre booking conversation for just a second. The highest leverage retention move you can make that costs nothing and takes literally 60 seconds before your client gets out of the chair, not at the front desk or not as they're like starting to put their jacket on. You want to plant that seed. Based on what we did today, I would love to see you in about 6 weeks. I'm going to take a look at the calendar and just see where that puts us at. Do you prefer coming in the morning or the evening? So, the reason why I give those two options is because they have to say, one or the other. That's like you're not asking them something that's a yes or no answer. You're asking them something that requires them to give you an answer. They could say to you, like, oh, I have to check out my schedule. And that's when you can say, I'm going to go ahead and send you a text reminder. So that way we can make sure that we get you in the time that you want to come in or that works best for your schedule. Always make it about their schedule. Always make it about them. Always make it to their benefit. But at least put that out there and make that part of your verbiage before they step foot away from your chair. And then the follow-up, this is a part that just is more on the human side, sending a text message to them about 48 hours after the appointment and make it sound like a person. Just make sure that if you're going to have something set up and it is through your system, that it's not like an automated thing that just is like, thank you so much for your time. Hope you had a great day, something like that. Um, so you want to say something so like, I'm so glad we got to connect yesterday. Your hair looked amazing when you left. I hope you're loving it. And that's just something that you're just doing like a genuine, warm follow up to things. And you don't have to necessarily send them a booking link with it. You can just make it a genuine, ongoing conversation. But doing things like that is just like a touch point that brings them back to your chair again. It brings back that, that initial conversation that you had. It keeps that relationship going. So it's something that's really worthwhile when it comes to building that relationship. And that's a human moment that makes them think of you first when they're ready to book again, too. Again, in the world of AI, this is where you get to stand out the most. And then the incentive for rebooking, of course, is especially for clients who have lapsed in the past and they haven't been there for 3 or 6 months, a personal outreach with a genuine offer can come back and resurrect that relationship, if you will. Like they actually may just think, oh my gosh, I've been meaning to contact you or I've been meaning to book this. And by you doing it, you're taking care of them, but you're also taking care of your own business too. And sending out a personalized message like, I've been thinking about you. It's been a few months and I'd love to have you back in. I have some availability coming up and I wanted to reach out to you personally before I open it up to new clients. So that language is a personal, natural way of reaching out to somebody. It does imply scarcity just a little bit, but not to the point of like, you better book now or you're going to miss out on it. And it's more powerful than, offering like some discount or something like that, never go down the discount train. We can talk about that in a different episode, of course. And then going along with our 30-day action plan, this is just something where you can start with your very next appointment today, tomorrow, this week, whenever you're back in the salon again. I want you to pre-book every single client before they leave your chair. Every one. Set a goal. By the end of your 30 days, I want 70% of your clients to have their next appointment on the books before they walk out the door. That one shift alone can stabilize your income in a way that no amount of new clients marketing can match. And the reason why I say every single one of your clients is because that is their right. That is their right as a client to have that service offered to them. If you haven't gotten in the habit of doing it, guess what? New habits are about to be formed for you. All right, now we're going to jump into social media for a second. And this is my next point, which is TikTok and short form videos. The discovery engine for this is, well, it's the last move I want to talk about today because it's the one with the highest ceiling for the new client discovery right now. And also the one most stylists are either not doing at all or they're doing it in a way that's working against them. So TikTok is not just a platform for, dancing and for young people. I mean, there's all ages on TikTok now. In 2025 and 26, it has become one of the most powerful discovery engines on literally on the internet. And for service businesses like salons, they matter hugely. So when someone in your city is looking for a new stylist, they are increasingly starting that search on not Google, and not on Instagram, but on TikTok. They're searching hairstylists near me or balayage specialist or a natural hair salon, and they're watching videos. And whoever shows up in those results, whoever has content that answers that search, they're the ones that get the booking. Billions of searches happen on TikTok every single day, up more than 40% year over year. And one of the four users being searched within 30 seconds of opening the app. Kind of crazy, huh? So, Creative Salon TikTok is a search engine. And right now, the most successful stylists are optimizing for it. 92%, like this kind of blew me away, the stat 92% of global TikTok users take some action after watching a video. So that could be liking, sharing, following, or searching for more information. But the platform is not passive at all. So people who watch your content are actively engaging with it in ways that Instagram and Facebook cannot match, at least at the moment. As a matter of fact, 88% of small businesses reported that TikTok promotions led to higher sales. So exactly like yours, are finding new clients through TikTok and other ways that would have taken them years on other platforms. And then this is my last stat for you. 71% of TikTok users say they discover new products and services on TikTok that they hadn't found anywhere else. So that's a keyword. Anywhere else. That TikTok is reaching people who are not on Instagram, not on the email list, not on the referral network. It's a completely new audience. So I just want you to treat it like that. That it's not all of your business, it's just a funnel of your business. And here's where I think stylists should be paying attention. Knowing that about 25% of TikTok users are unique to the platform and that they're not on Facebook or Instagram. If you're invisible to one of platforms like TikTok, which I will openly admit I'm not on TikTok nearly as much as I am on any other platform. But that's just an excuse, right? And I can totally turn that around. So maybe I should give myself a 30-day trial here too. This is the market that you're leaving entirely untouched if you're not using it all. Again, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So the reason why this is actually working is that content that brings new clients to your chair on TikTok is not the same as the content that gets views. Viral content and getting content are two totally different things. We talked about this in our last episode, as a matter of fact. So if you haven't listened to that one, go back. For TikTok specifically, the content that drives bookings right now is content that actually answers a question to a potential client that is actually searching for this answer. What does a lived in color look like after 6 weeks? How do I know if I need a trim or a haircut? What should I ask for if I want low maintenance hair? How long does a balayage appointment take? Things like this. So you know the answer to all of these questions. You could answer one of them in 60 seconds. That 60-second video posted consistently is what shows up when someone in your city searches for a stylist. And that's how TikTok users are filling their chair. So the practical approach for this, by the way, is that all you need is a phone, some decent lighting, and a genuine answer to a question that your ideal client is already asking. Caption in your video with the keywords your client would search for. not worrying about hashtags so much, but keywords written as a natural language in your caption. If you've been wondering whether to go lighter for summer, here's what I consider first. That caption is searchable. That caption is how TikTok users know what to search for when they find your video. And then if you take this into your 30-day action plan, I want you to post 8 TikTok videos in the next 30 days. I'm going to challenge myself to do that too. Maybe I'll get back to you and I'll tell you in the next week how that went. Well, next week is only a week, so never mind. I'll tell you at another time. But that is, if you just take one answer from one question, your ideal client is already asking, then no editing is really required. Just use like your talking head, take your knowledge and your phone, 8 videos in 30 days, and that is a good starting line. Like just see what comes from it. We covered 4 moves today, and referrals, cross-service partnerships, Google reviews, client retention, and pre-booking, and TikTok. And I want to be honest with you. You don't have to do all 4 of these perfectly at once. In fact, trying to do all 4 perfectly at once is how none of them get done. Trust me when I say this. You might already know this, but I'm going to just echo that for you. Here's what I want you to focus on in the next 30 days. Pick one that feels the most immediately actionable for where your business is right now, and go all in on that one first. If your books are inconsistent and unpredictable, start with retention and pre-booking. Fill your holes you already have before you've been trying to get new people in there. And if you have a strong existing clientele, but you're not growing, start with referrals and cross-service partnerships. Your best clients are your best marketing. If you have no online presence and people can't find you, start with Google reviews. Get your digital first impression right. And if you're ready to reach an entirely new audience, start posting on TikTok, 2 videos a week for 30 days and see what actually starts moving. And of course, everything we talked about today, the referral conversations, the retention systems, the Google review strategy, the TikTok content approach, these are not complicated, but they do require consistency. And consistency is where most stylists get stuck. I understand that. I'm one of them myself, not because they don't know what to do, but because they're doing it alone. And that's exactly what we do in the SSA lab. And that's why it exists. And I know I plugged it earlier, but it is a membership community where we take these strategies and we actually build them into your business. So we do this together with other stylists and salon owners who are doing the same work. And if today's episode gave you clarity on what to focus on and you want to actually support doing it in the SSA lab, then I will link that in the show notes. I'll also link in the free marketing guide in the show notes because I think that actually pairs really quite nicely with this episode. And if this was useful to you, if this shifted anything for you in any way, I would love to hear from you. Please drop a review in Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you are getting this information, wherever you're listening to this podcast. I would love to hear from you. I read through every single one of them, and they do absolutely help the right people find us, just like you. I want to thank you for your time and your attention, and I want to encourage you to dream big, set goals, take action, and I will see you next week. Today's episode is sponsored by Pharmagel, a clean and sustainable skincare line of over 35 years that commits to using safe and natural ingredients to deliver effective results. Visit pharmagel.net and use code SSA15 to earn 15% off your happier, healthier skin.